Saturday night. Welcome to the show. I am the one and only Tim.
And I am the one and only Ray. Welcome to the Grayscale Podcast, where it's not always black and white.
I'm telling you.
You did.
You
What's
did. That's
happening,
Ray's
baby?
call sign, you
That's
guys.
my
You
call.
did.
Hey, I hit him with that. You dig, man? I'm old school, man.
You did.
I rock old school. I rep old school. I always say, man, a lot of like, man, I'm old school, man. I start with it. So I'm going ahead and starting my watch party. We can get some people ticked
Ray's
on.
old school.
Old school, man. 35. I feel like I'm at the top of the hill.
Oh,
You know?
yeah? You're getting old,
I'm
man.
at the top of the hill, and it's time to start trekking on to the
You're
other
in the
side.
second half of the 30s
Second
now.
half,
You're on
Jack.
the second half of the 30s.
Man, Jack, but I'm trying to stay young, man.
That's
did
good.
another 5 miles today.
I
Actually,
noticed you
didn't.
are. I got to get back, man. I got to get to work.
Come on, Tim. I need you, baby. Hey, speaking of exercise,
Jamie texted me the other day. Jamie texted me the other day. He said, "Get back to class!" in all caps with exclamation points.
We need
And
to
he was
have
like-
Jamie on the
he was
show.
like, "Get back to class! That's me yelling at you."
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. Like I'm gonna do my best. And I wanted to go yesterday.
Hey, tell him to
but-
come and yell on the show, man. I tried to
Yeah, I
send him
will.
a message. So, Jamie, if you catch this, I'm really disappointed, man. We was beach bud. We worked You didn't answer me back. Like, we want to have you on the show to talk about fitness. Speaking of, next week we will have a show about fitness.
We will.
Man. So,
Yeah.
y'all make sure y'all tune in next Saturday if you're
So I'm
trying
gonna
to
have
get
to go
right.
to the gym. I have to go to the gym and get. I have to somehow go to the gym, get completely fit between now and next Saturday.
You gotta get on it. You gotta. It's possible.
Otherwise,
they
we're
got
done.
super pills out here.
Yeah.
But man, it's crazy. Like vacation to screw you, because I've been in kind of like this vacation days.
You still feel like you're like not
Yeah,
quite
man,
all
for
the way
like 2
back
weeks,
to real
and then
life
I
yet.
went to the gym and I was like, okay, this feels good again. And then, I took another day or two off, like still in that vacation mode. Then I went back, had a great workout. I'm like, this is where I belong.
Right.
Let's go.
See, that's the thing. Like once I go to the gym and I'm there and I'm at class and I'm like lifting weights and doing all the stuff, I can't wait to go back. You know what I mean? And like, but once I fall off, I'm like, I don't even want to do this.
So like
I tried to ride my bike.
I can sleep for
tried to ride
hour.
my bike and I was like, whatever.
Hey man, bike
But I
riding
did
is very
ride.
relaxing.
I did ride it a couple times.
Yeah.
Since I got it, so that's the thing I need to start doing
What
a
kind
lot
of bike
more
did
too.
you get? I didn't
It's
know you
just
had
a
a bike.
little. It's just a little. Schwinn
Oh, yeah.
mountain bike thing from Target or whatever. It's not nothing super.
Man, bike
super
riding
fancy.
is really relaxing, man. I'm kind of upset that I'm not being able to do my 20 miles, but the wife should be off on Saturday starting next week.
Oh, there you go.
So I might get back to it, but throw them AirPods in.
Just get after it, huh? I actually think
man.
I'm gonna get myself up to the point where I can just like ride the bike to the shop.
Yeah.
It's only maybe what 4 miles maybe from
Easy
here to the shop.
breezy.
It's not that far.
It's a start, man.
So
Get that
That's not
cardiovascular.
that bad.
Going.
Knocking it out.
Going. So what's the haps, man? The shop's coming along well. I actually stopped by last week after the show, and it looked pretty.
It's actually already got some changes and like not like big changes.
Yeah.
Add some furniture and stuff. Like I made
You
some
couch in that
tables.
joint?
I ain't get a couch in there yet.
We gotta get you a couch.
Gotta get a couch.
Man.
Gotta have a couch.
We got to get you a couch.
But it's funny,
futon or something.
It's funny because like for the last year, basically, I looked and I moved all my equipment over here to the house in December of last year. So basically, almost a full year of working in my backyard, right?
Yeah.
And now that I have to actually get up in the mornings and go to the shop,
It's different.
even though it's the same work, when I get home in the evenings, I'm like
businessy.
I'm like, it's time to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, because like it's just the mentality is different, because like I'm actually going to go somewhere for work instead of just going outside.
Right.
A little bit weird. I was like the couple of days, I was like, why am I so tired? I was like,
busy.
I haven't done anything different than any other day, But I also like can't come back inside and sit down and watch TV for an hour at lunch or whatever, like that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit different in that regard.
It's a different. I mean, my wife talks all the time. You work from home. it's a little bit more difficult
Yeah. Right.
because you can do other things. There's a
Yeah, you
lot
get
other
sidetracked
there's
real
other
easy.
yeah, you get sidetracked, man. There's a lot of other
Yep.
distractions at the household. So it makes a difference. But if that's to be the wave of the future with all this COVID
And
shit,
right, like we talked
people
about
gonna have to
before, I think
really
it might be.
be disciplined. This
Yeah.
is where discipline come play at. So it's
Truth.
out there. So
That is true.
it is very true. Speaking of the COVID tonight, we talking about COVID versus sports, man.
COVID.
That's the topic of the night. So if you're listening, hey, make sure y'all go hit those like button, go ahead, boom us up
For
a
sure,
little
for
bit so
sure.
that this show can reach other news
Tell all your
feeds.
friends.
If people want to go ahead and get involved in the conversation. Tonight we talking a little sports, kind of breaking from the monotony of all this craziness, because it's a lot of shootings and
We could
all
talk
this
about
and
something
politics
stupid every week,
every week, man. It's a
and
lot
it's just
going
out of
on out here.
control.
So, but I thought it would be a good topic to talk about as well as Tim, especially with college football kicking back off
Yep, there were some
today.
games today.
There
Yeah.
were some games. Hey, I got my fan dude going. I'm actually winning a little money right
There
now,
you
but
go.
don't tell nobody.
Don't tell mama. He said, "That's
uh,
my money."
I thought it was very interesting, bro. Being a sports fan, being a college football
Yeah.
fan, football kicking off, and we've got some non big conference games playing.
That's right. Today it was like Army and somebody
Army's
played.
playing.
And so
Memphis is playing right
right.
now.
And next week the ACC has games.
AC and the SEC.
And then I don't think the
The SEC
SEC.
not playing yet.
I think they start like 2 weeks from now or something. It was weird. There were ACC games next week starting, and then I think the next week SEC games were starting.
Okay,
But
I thought
also
the SEC
Thursday
was
night
on
we
next week.
have pro ball. I know people don't like to talk about the
I'm
NFL
trying to
right
tell
now,
you.
but
I don't know why people like, oh man, we not watching these players, da da da. But man, Trump just went out there and was like, we need to get the Big Ten and the Pac-12 going
right,
because these players have an opportunity to go to the NFL.
right.
Even your president know they can go to the league.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's crazy, like the rhetoric that goes
Well, yeah,
on.
we
But
got professional football starting Thursday night, so
yeah,
that'll be good.
I mean, oh, you're yawning. Yeah, baby, you been
Bro,
in the
I
shop
tried
all
to tell
day.
you
Look at
earlier,
you.
didn't I?
He out here yawning and shit. Y'all wake him up. Come on
I
now,
told you.
chime in.
What up, Jeff?
Uh, so yeah, pro football kicking off this Thursday, and I just find it all very interesting. So let's talk about college to kick off.
Let's do it.
Are we gonna have a full football season? I believe so.
You
I'm
think they'll
just
play all the games
I
they have
think they
scheduled?
gonna play all the games they have scheduled. I'm just gonna go with you right now because as I look across the board, and here's the interesting thing: like the NBA's been in this bubble,
Yeah.
and the NBA has not had any positive COVID
And hockey
tests,
played in a bubble
and
too.
hockey played in the bubble as well. So
Yeah.
did MLS. So
Yeah.
soccer's in the
Right.
bubble. And they're not having any positive tests. They have not postponed any games to COVID.
Right.
They have due to social justice, but not to COVID.
Right.
And here you have the MLB. This is why I do kind of worry about college football and NFL a little bit, but the MLB not playing in the bubble.
And they have had to postpone.
They've had. I did some. I didn't bring my statistics with me, but I researched it. I know.
Got his notes.
They had. I want to say 141 positive.
Oh wow.
Cases, and 30 of them were staff members. 111 were players.
That's a lot though. Still,
Every time a player tested positive, they had to postpone games.
that's
So the 60-game season is now being prolonged
yeah.
for however
make up
long
games.
to make up.
They're
games.
actually not making up all the games though either.
No, they're
So
not.
some teams aren't even going to play 60 games.
Exactly.
And a lot of the games they are making up, they're making up on double headers,
Right.
and they're playing shortened games for
Yep.
double headers.
Yep.
So like the Mets
Real
and the
weird
Yankees,
season, bro.
the Mets and the Yankees had to postpone like 2 or 3 games. Then they had to make up, and they made 2 of them up on days to be playing a game anyway, and they would in the morning and the regular game at night or whatever.
Right.
But they would only play 7 innings instead of 9.
Which is crazy.
Right.
It's like Little League now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then on top of that, on the day they made up a game where they didn't have another game, they played a full 9.
Right.
So it was like Some games are piece of games, some games
The
games.
statistics are gonna
So
all
it's gonna be super
screwed
weird.
up. Like
Everybody's getting one less at bat in the
I
game.
know
Like, you
we
know what I mean?
said this before, like asterisk, no asterisk, but you gotta put an asterisk on everything. I'm for one happy that sports
Put
are
Pete
back
Rose
on
in the Hall of
TV.
Fame.
Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I'm for one happy
I'm
that
just glad I get to watch sports. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy sports are back on TV, man. I think sports bring people together, regardless of those that don't want to watch it.
They
I
don't want to
think
be together, I
they don't
guess.
want to be together. You know what I'm saying?
Or they can go be together
move
somewhere
out
else.
the country.
Yeah, if you don't like it here, leave.
You want to be here, leave.
Rah, rah, rah.
I'm one happy. I'm really glad that the teams that decided to play college football are playing college
Yeah.
football. We had John Harbaugh, the brother of Jim Harbaugh,
That's
who
right.
coaches for Michigan, come out and say free the Big Ten.
Okay.
Because the reason being is players that want to be safe do have the option of opting out of the season.
That's right.
You don't have to play.
That's right. Yeah.
It's your right. It's your freedom. You don't have to play. You can go do
these
what you
kids,
want to do.
Even though all them these kids
They're
that play,
grown men.
they're men.
Yeah.
I was actually reading something because my Dolphins are dumb and and they traded for Josh Rosen last season.
Poor Rosen, man. Poor
and then
Rosen.
they let him go. They let him go yesterday or today. I was reading about him. He's gonna be most likely he'll get picked up by somebody as a backup or something. I mean, he still was a good quarterback in college. He hasn't really played that much in the pro, that many games in the pros. He's like 3-13.
He lost his job to Fitzpatrick, a journeyman.
Right.
It's not
Fitzpatrick's decent. He's an interesting guy. He's a good leader on a team.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
I
I
like
mean?
him.
People
Harvard
rally
guy.
behind Fitzpatrick.
Harvard
but anyway, so point being, Rosen is gonna be possibly playing this season for the third team in 3 years,
which is nuts for
crazy
a first round
draft pick. But also, he's younger than Joe Burrow.
Wow,
isn't that crazy?
Nuts.
He's younger than Joe Burrow.
I can see him going to like the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of those type of teams.
Speaking of Jacksonville,
the Bears could pick him up. I mean, shit.
Fournette went to Tampa Bay.
I did. Hey, Tampa gonna be tough.
They're gonna be an interesting team.
Tampa gonna be tough.
I think Fournette's still a player. He's still young. He's only been in the league 4 years.
Yeah, he only like 27.
Yeah, still a young dude, man.
And he's good. So I think with the threat of the passing game that the Bucks got, I mean, with Brady and them boys,
Mike Evans is a hell of a receiver.
Come on now. You got OJ Howard, Gronk, Evans, Goodwin. Them boys gonna be good. So
Tampa Bay is gonna be interesting. Sorry,
Saints,
Jeff. Jeff's an Atlanta Falcons fan, so sorry, Jeff.
Saints versus Bucks, game 1.
Thursday, right?
No, that's Kansas City.
Oh yeah, Kansas City's Thursday night. Yeah, you're right.
Kansas City.
I don't remember.
I forget their opponent. I want to say Houston.
Okay. And Deshaun Watson just signed a
4
hell
years,
of a contract.
$160 million. Y'all better understand they big
I'm a
money.
big Deshaun Watson fan.
Big money.
Deshaun Watson is actually, that I'm with. Yeah, he's the
I saw that. I didn't see that.
So that's kind of cool. So I like him. I collect his cards. So if I ever get to meet him, I can get him to sign some stuff.
No doubt. Hey, I'm with Zavita too.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
Well, if I ever meet him, it'll be at an event most likely. So like,
true indeed. That's what's up. But yeah, I think that game kicks off Thursday against Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it's gonna be interesting. My Bears just named Mitchell Trubisky, the starter, and I'm like, damn, that's cool.
Didn't you guys draft somebody or trade for somebody or something?
Why we trade all those draft picks for Nick Foles?
Oh yeah.
Like damn, Cam Newton a free agent, Jameis Winston a free agent. Now you got Josh Rosen falling out here.
I don't know if I don't know that I wouldn't. Now obviously they didn't know that Rosen, they had a pretty good Rosen was going to be available. They didn't know until today. But I don't know if the Bears shouldn't try to get Josh Rosen.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, they should try to go ahead.
I don't know if that's
Rosen.
not a bad idea. Like
that's for something he can learn, get used to.
I don't know
system.
if I could see Cam or Jameis playing in Chicago. For some reason, that just doesn't look right to me.
You know
but
what? Chicago don't. I don't want to say it. Chicago is just a different kind of
it
town.
is.
You know
It's
what I'm
kind of
saying
an
when it comes to the
well,
quarterback of the team.
and it seems like Chicago plays a little more of the old school
Yeah,
ball,
it's
and those two guys are a little more
Cam
new
could be.
school.
He looked like he about to thrive in New England with
Yeah,
Bill
I think so,
Belichick. You
man.
know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think
So
anybody can throw. I'm going to go on record and say that I hate to say that Tom Brady is the GOAT,
why?
but because I'm not a because
That's a
I'm a Dolph
Michigan boy.
because
Go
I'm a
blue.
Dolphins fan, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't. So I hate to say it, but it's true, right? I get that it's true. I just don't like to say it.
Yeah.
But I also think that Belichick is a lot of the reason that Tom Brady
Oh,
is
for
the
sure.
GOAT.
You have to have a
If
good
Tom
leader.
Brady
I
wouldn't have
mean,
been under Belichick for 20 years, it would have looked a lot different
you
for
have
him.
to
I
have a
think.
good leader.
He might have been a Josh Rosen otherwise.
It's
You know what I
hindsight.
mean? Or whatever.
We don't
but
know.
like, yeah.
It's hindsight. But
So
in a lot of regards, people say the players make the coach. I mean, is Phil Jackson without Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant,
maybe not.
Shaquille O'Neal?
That's an interesting debate.
I mean, I know they say when Jordan retired, they were a playoff team or their
But they
championship.
weren't, they
You
weren't
know what I'm
that
saying?
they weren't the same anymore. But you also have to remember when Jordan retired, like Pippen left, Horace Grant left. Like, you know what I mean?
well,
Like,
Horace was still there.
was he still there for a little
Horace
while?
was still there that season Jordan left. And then I
Rodman
think,
left.
No, Rodman wasn't
How
there
long
yet.
did he
Rodman
stay?
wasn't there. But when Jordan came back,
I meant when he retired for good.
what's that?
When Jordan left for good.
Everybody left.
That's what I'm saying.
There was
when
no
Jordan
Bulls
left
team.
for good, everyone else
Pippen
left
was
too.
gone. Rodman.
Yeah.
There was no
Like,
it was the baby boys. They were
right.
non-existent.
So it was like, you'll never know if those guys were as good without Jordan, really, because they all went their separate ways.
I mean, you got a taste of it when he retired that first time. They made the playoffs. There was an infamous time where Pippen wouldn't go back into the game.
Right.
Because he wasn't going to get to take the last shot.
That's right.
And they were giving it to Coach. Kukoc hit the shot. Pippen like an asshole.
It was an interesting dynamic. After watching The Last Dance, that was an interesting relationship and dynamic between Kukoc and the rest of the team.
True indeed. I mean, I like Kukoc. But to get back to this college thing, so
we call that a tangent.
How is
ladies and gentlemen?
How do you think it's gonna look, Tim? So you got Power 5 conferences.
Yep.
3 out of the Power 5 have decided to play football. It's a full-on mutiny.
That's right.
So the SEC's playing, ACC is playing, and the Big 12 is playing. All Southern,
but not the Pac
conference. The Pac-12 opted
or the
out,
Big 10,
and the Big 10. Now, originally, they opted out for the entire season.
Okay.
Now they've come back and said we're gonna reevaluate in October. So after September, which you play a game every Saturday. So
right.
Like
so you're already a couple games behind. Sure.
You're like 3 to 4 games out of the race, and saying that you may come back in October.
Right.
So is that the Saturday in October, second Saturday in October?
Right.
What does that look like? So,
and are you going to make up those
games?
Are you going to play 2 games a week or something to make up those other
pushing
games?
The playoffs back from January and kicking them into February?
Well, and if so,
now you're competing with the Super Bowl.
But also, if you think about that, the teams that start next week are going to end in 10 weeks. It's 10. They're playing 10 games, right? So 10 weeks, maybe 11 because of a bye week. So the teams that start late, if they don't make those games up within that same time frame, the teams that started on time are going to have like a 3-week break.
Right. So
before that playoff starts, is that good or bad for them? Or do you want to go straight into playoff after week 11? You go straight into week 12 playoff? Or do you have to wait till week 15 to start the playoffs?
Exactly.
And there's this, some teams are still, that's an interesting thing.
It is. With some of these conferences, I guess if you're playing in-conference games, you can play Saturday and Thursday.
Sure.
To try to make up for something. Because, say the SEC, Big 12, ACC, they're only playing Saturday games, right?
Right.
Well, they're not. because I think Miami's playing on a Thursday night to kick off the
They
season.
are. They're playing
So
University of Alabama Birmingham.
right. So okay, Miami.
At
So
least that's what I saw on ESPN. ESPN's app might be wrong given the state of the world. I don't know if the schedule that's on ESPN is correct or
right,
not.
and they have a usually have a semester off in between the end of the season and playoff anyway.
Right.
So the season ends like early November. They don't start playing playoff games to mid December. So
Right.
you
They have a
usually
break
have
anyway.
about a good month. So do these teams that are now playing
That's
potentially
true because
playing
they do all the other bowl
right?
games first.
Do
Yeah, yeah,
these
yeah. You're
teams
right.
that are potentially playing catch up get to play through to finish their season? But what type of advantage does that give them if they're playing in season games leading up to the playoff, whereas these other big
Have
conferences
been sitting.
are sitting and just practicing?
Right.
They're not in live games because live competition, you
Yeah.
get up for that.
That's right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
the Big
So
10, you take the Big 10 as an example, like, assuming it's assuming they're like you're healthy enough to do this, right? You could play Ohio State and Michigan or Ohio State and Michigan could play in Columbus on Thursday, and then Ohio State and Ohio could play in Ohio and Columbus on Saturday.
right, easily.
And it wouldn't be that big of a. And then Michigan could go and even probably play a game at Big
Right.
Bend or
You can have
wherever.
a
Like,
Saturday,
Big,
Thursday game.
they could probably play at home on Saturday, even though they were in Columbus, because
Right.
it's not that
And
far.
it would just rotate.
And so you could still get all those
Right.
games
You
in
play
the same amount of time.
yes, you can. You can play a Saturday, Thursday,
Should
play a
the
Saturday, and then play a Saturday, Thursday.
should the NCAA say, like, should they mandate essentially that if you want to be part of the playoffs, you have to end your 10-game season at the same time as everybody else.
Right.
You have to play catch up.
Right.
Right? Like, we're not going to let you
gain an advantage.
Yeah. Or maybe advantage. Who knows which one it is, right? Who knows which one it will play, but everybody needs to be on the same, like, we need to start everything at the same time and end everything at the same time. And,
it's just very interesting, man. Especially, I mean, even if you think about it from the political spectrum, not even political, but the recruiting spectrum. Here you have this situation where, especially in the SEC, the Big 12, where these players are getting to play football. Now you're in I guess the South would be deemed a more conservative side of things.
Right.
Whereas you're in liberal states that are saying, okay, we're not going to play. Are these decisions based off what the players want? Or
Probably
are
not.
these decisions based off what the politicians want?
Probably.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To say, oh, we want to cancel these games because to us, COVID is that serious.
Right.
And we have to play this political role. Whereas now you have, because if I'm in the Big 10, Pac-12, and right now I'm looking at Eastern Kentucky and Marshall play football, Memphis and whoever,
I'm not getting
and I'm not getting
right.
to play. Like, hey, whoa, wait a minute.
And the NCAA did say
they should
or I either did do this or they're thinking about doing this, where they're allowing players another year of eligibility because of this season. Like? But you're still a year older.
You're a year older.
You have
potential for injury.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because unlike the NBA and the college basketball, which we'll get into, you can go to school for 1 year and then go to the league.
That's right.
For college football, you have to be in college for 3 years. Do you know what that's like for somebody that feels like they're good enough to go play professional football and
some of these guys probably
are feed family? You know what I'm saying? Like an Adrian
and now
Peterson.
They're getting
people like
a whole year outside of that. They're having to wait a whole nother year.
So if you're a sophomore,
and
if
then,
you're a junior,
and like you say, back home, like my mom and my sister are starving.
They got to
eat.
And I'm trying to get to the league.
Yeah.
If you were going into your junior season and this was your last year to pay, and all of a sudden you can't play, and it's like, well, I got to play another year to prove my worth. I'm not talking about the superstar players
Right.
like Jefferson from LSU,
Right.
who show his worth. It's like, man, I've been in the big games.
Yep.
I've been doing my thing. I'm talking about those fringe players.
Yep.
That are going into their junior season. Like, man, if I have a big junior year, I can really show improve and get my money. Like, I think about somebody like Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
Here's a
I
guy.
saw something about him earlier today.
Yeah, that he was supposed to sign with the Titans. But
The
here's
Titans,
a guy
that's what it was. Yep.
that was okay, did some nice things at South Carolina. Then he kind of is like a here and there player.
Right.
And then that 1 year where he was like that junior year, he balled out. And then his senior year, I think it was senior year, one of them years, he kind of out on his team, set out a lot due to injury, but he knew that he was eligible for the NFL.
Right.
So he didn't have to risk himself anymore.
He wasn't trying to get hurt, yeah.
I show what I can do.
I don't even play in the playoff game, maybe, because
you know what I'm saying?
not, yeah,
so
right.
those type of players.
A lot of players, that's interesting. A lot of players will like bow out of playing in their bowl game.
Yeah.
If they know they're going to go into the draft because they don't like, that's just one more chance to possibly get hurt. Inky Johnson's a good example of a guy who was like, going to go places and then got hurt like in a big game and like, or no game, right? It was, I don't know who that is. You know who Inky Johnson is?
Inky?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He played for like Tennessee or somebody. And he was supposed to be, I think he was wide receiver or something, and was playing in a game or whatever. He was all but ready to go to the NFL, right? And got the helmet hit on a catch and didn't get up. You know what I mean? Like, and now his right arm dead, basically. And so he does like motivational speaking and stuff like that. He turned that into something good, but at the same time, like, never played football. You know what I mean? Yeah. And not everybody's gonna have the mental capacity to turn that injury into something positive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
think about how
for a lot of people, you get hurt a little bit and like, that's it. You're done.
That's it. I mean, think about how many players get hurt in that manner.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I injured my knee in junior college football. I was getting looked at by different schools, Division III schools, things like that. But once I hurt my knee, even myself was like, is it really worth it to rehab? Shit like that. So,
because what are the chances of you going from the school you were at to a Division III school and then actually doing something after that? The chances aren't good.
Right.
It's actually mathematically impossible for you to become a professional football player.
At the
anybody.
You can build those relationships to do your thing, but
it's impossible. I don't know if we talked about this on the show or not, but I think about this a lot, of how literally mathematically impossible it is for you to become a professional football player.
Odds are,
it's like ridiculous.
If you think they only draft like 300 and some players, think about how many college teams there are.
Right.
There's over 100 and some college
But not
teams.
just that. Think about it from all the way back when you first start playing, like in the Pop Warner or something, right? And your local Pop Warner league has 10 teams or something, right? But when you get out of Pop Warner and you go to like high school, only one kid gets to be the quarterback on the high school team. Not all 10 kids quarterbacks on Warner League teams.
Exactly.
Only one of them gets to be the star quarterback at the high school level. And now all those kids in the Florida Panhandle have been now brought down to just the one kid at the high school level. And now all those kids want to go to Florida State. Well, Florida State only has one star quarterback. So now all those schools are down to brought down to one again.
Yep.
And then all those colleges go down to each team in the NFL. There's only 32 teams, and most likely they're only going to each draft one quarterback. It's literally impossible for you to become a professional basketball or
you can
football
still
player.
Play because sports build bonds. And
no, you should still play.
Those
but it's impossible for you to make it into the NFL. Anybody, it's crazy to even think about, man.
Yeah,
like it's crazy.
But
and then you got to deal with COVID.
Impossible is nothing. So yeah,
impossible is nothing. Tell them Nike.
Interested, man.
Or was it Adidas? I don't remember.
No,
was that Nike?
It was Adidas because Kevin Garnett
That's
was
right.
like impossible is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
actually
right.
it was Nike. He's Nike.
I think it was
I think
Nike.
KG is Nike. But that was the question. Will sports survive COVID
Oh,
19?
sports will survive.
And I think this season, I think MLS is doing a great job in the bubble. They're playing all their games. They haven't had any positive tests. The NBA hasn't had any positive tests in the bubble. Hockey has not had any positive tests that I know of in the bubble. So they've done a real great job of containing it, keeping it relevant.
Right.
But for them, they were in playoff situations.
The NBA, like not all 30 NBA teams
Right.
went to the
They
bubble.
all didn't have to go.
Yeah.
So you
Now
had this situation.
in hockey, they did bring every team, I'm pretty sure,
Right.
but they had two separate bubbles. They had the
Bubbles.
West Conference playing in
then
one and the
Canadian.
Eastern Conference playing
Yeah.
in the other. They had two separate,
Because
so they had them split up.
Canada would not allow their Canadian teams to travel to the US.
Yeah,
Because of
something
our
like that.
wild out here, man.
Crazy.
We crazy.
Which
like
is
the
why the
US
Blue Jays
would-
are playing
Yeah.
in New York or whatever.
because they wouldn't allow them to travel back
That's
and
right.
forth because Americans just don't give a damn.
We don't care. We don't care. So what do you think? What do you think if we do have a full season of NCAA football?
Yeah.
And the only Big Five or the only Power Five conferences
3 out of the 5
that are playing are three of them: ACC, SEC, and what's the other one?
You said
ACC,
Big 12.
SEC, and the Big 12. What does a playoff situation look like? Do you do a 6-team playoff with the top 2 teams from
Each conference.
You take like
right now we
in the
at 8,
ACC
right?
in the ACC
now we
you
at 8.
have playoff. Yeah, no, they only do a 14 playoff.
14.
Yeah, 14 playoff.
Yeah.
So in the maybe this is an interesting way for them to expand the playoff.
Yeah.
Actually,
Y'all talk to us, people. What y'all think, man? Expansion?
do they use it as an opportunity to expand the playoff? And do they take the top, like in the ACC, we have the Atlantic Conference and the Coastal Conference. So, like, do you get the top from the Atlantic Conference, the top team from the Coastal Conference, and then the same thing with the SEC East and West? Do you take the top team from each conference or each division and bring them
into
the
USA
playoffs?
Is playing as well, which is the Big 5.
But they do have a teams
Cincinnati,
that are possible.
Memphis. These guys
US,
are good, man.
UCF. Hey, national champions.
Yeah,
UCF were the national champions a couple years ago.
I think
I don't care what anybody says.
Interesting, and I like what you're saying.
So maybe they take the top team from each of the Power Five, the 3 Power 5 conferences that are playing, and then like a team from a couple other conferences or something. And
I mean, I think you got to take 2 from the Power 5.
Maybe you have an 8-team playoff then, and you bring 2 from each Power 5 of the 3, 2 from each Power 3 conference.
Yeah.
And the Conference USA team and whatever Sun Belt or whoever the other one is.
Playing. So you got a Marshall's playing in Memphis, and I think it would be interesting because these teams can now compete with the big dogs,
right?
And they can see how they really measure up,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So
hey, UCF beat who was it? UCF beat
like they like to say word. It's opportunity.
Yeah,
there's an opportunity
any
here.
Any given Sunday.
Saturday. These guys can Saturday. Yep. You're right. These guys can get up and it's the Titans, baby. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They can pull off an upset like Appalachia versus Michigan.
Yep.
You know,
UL Monroe beat Alabama that one year.
Man, Jack. So I think it's very interesting. But I like that idea, Tim, of pulling 2 from each.
Yeah.
So you got 2 out of the big conferences. So say you say in a sec, you get your Alabama and Florida or Auburn.
Right.
Pick you one.
Whoever, which one
ACC,
it is,
you get your Clemson and Florida State.
Right.
Big 12 or Texas and Texas Christian or Oklahoma. Yeah. Oklahoma is a good one. Yeah. And then you pick 1 or 2 out of these other conferences.
Right.
A Marshall, a Memphis, Cincinnati, whoever. And you let these guys come in and compete and see what happens.
I think so. I think that either way,
8 or 10, because if you're getting 2 out of the big conferences, that gives them 6.
Yeah.
Why not pick 2 out of each of these, or 2 out of these to get 4, and
like a wild card,
right,
first
because you can
round or
have two
something. Yeah,
teams. You can have two teams. The top two teams get bye weeks, and then you
right.
have these other 8 teams play each other.
The playoff committee is going to have an interesting um, situation on their hands. I think it's going to be because, like,
Very interesting.
yeah, I mean, to make it a four game or a 4 team playoff though is possible because you could take whatever team wins their each conference. So
Right.
the SEC, whoever. So let's say Alabama and whoever go to the SEC championship game and Alabama wins. Clemson wins the ACC championship game, and not Ohio State. Let's say Oklahoma wins the Big 12, right?
That's three. That's 3 in
That's
right there.
3 in right there. And whoever had the best record of the winners from the remaining, outside the Power Five conference, the Group of 5 conferences, gets the 4th spot.
Right, which would
You
be
know what I mean?
easy to determine because
Instead of
they're all playing conference games.
doing it 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the rankings, take one team from each conference and then one from the Group of 5 and let them battle it out.
Battle it out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, man. I think it's a different statement and a powerful statement that these teams are going to play.
Yeah.
And I personally think it will be safe. And not only are they gonna play, but all of these teams are allowing fans into the stands.
Yeah, Miami.
Most of them have about 20% to 25% capacity, which most of these college schools hold like 100,000 people.
Well, when we went to the Dolphins game, Miami has said, or Hard Rock Stadium has said, that they're going to allow whatever percentage it is of people to come in, and it's like 13,000 people. So they're going to sell 13,000 seats or whatever. Now, I'm sure if like the boxes and stuff, like I'm sure those are probably still like
reserved. You can go in the box.
Yeah, but I mean, like you could have you and your whole family or whatever go into the box, right? Or you and your friends or whatever.
Oh yeah,
because it's up to you at that point. Like, but the reason but in the regular where they're only selling seats so many seats apart,
right?
So that everyone's not crowded.
I think that's awesome though.
Yeah,
to not deny fans, and I don't understand why
I'd still go to a game.
I really
season.
didn't understand why Major League Baseball. We had that discussion before why Major League Baseball didn't do it,
right?
Because I'm like, you can still sell X amount percentage of your seats and space people out,
and just space people out,
and allow them to be in the games, which will still give you that kind of home field advantage a little bit,
right?
Especially if you only have X amount of people that come into the stadium. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be all your fans,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
unless it's like
like you go to a Miami game,
the Marlins still wouldn't have had any fans.
Yeah, everybody could have played at Marlins Stadium.
Yeah. I don't like the Marlins, so I don't care. But there's never. I actually saw somebody quote. It was like one of the teams that played the Marlins like the first series of the season. And he asked one of the guys, like, what was like playing without the fans or whatever. And he was like, it was like playing in Miami any other time.
Yeah.
Like, there were no fans there anyway.
Fact. So let's hear from the people, man. If y'all out there, y'all tune in. Let's y'all think about
hit us in the comments.
Yeah, hit us with the comments. Hit those like buttons, those
slide
hearts.
up in our DMs.
What you think about the college football season and sports overall continuing? I, for one, didn't think, when it started, NASCAR needed to stop.
NASCAR had no reason, in my opinion,
to postpone.
Except for the fact that, like, the pit crews are, like, stacked on top of each other, kind of. But, like...
You could have put on masks.
Put up a little shield or something or whatever,
I thought NASCAR, golf, because I'm like, really? It's cool to be there, I guess, for people. But a lot of people enjoy golf watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Like,
I would never go to I say never. I would like it would be
neat
to go to the Masters or something. But like that's because it's the Masters, not because it's golf. Like I could watch golf at home. I don't know. I like to watch golf sometimes.
Yeah, I just thought there was sports like that I didn't feel like needed to necessarily.
But the cool thing about watching golf on TV is they only show you the highlights anyway.
Right, you get to see what's going on.
Even when you're watching you only see the highlights.
there, you can walk with the players and
Right.
see what they're going through and kind of how they're
Right.
figuring out their shots and things like that. But I mean, as far as
But
I'm
like in
concerned,
Tiger
like
on hole 5,
I can
you
watch
know.
that on TV. You know what I'm saying?
But if
So
Tyler doesn't do anything special until hole 5, they just don't even show you
they
his
don't
hole
even show
5.
you,
It
yeah,
doesn't
like
matter.
they
We'll show
wait
you
for
what he does on hole
yeah
6.
for
You
ESPN, like,
know?
oh, Tiger had a shitty day
Yeah.
today.
Yep.
So, but no, it's interesting, man, and I do believe though that the teams that are playing, because if you think about it, a lot of positives had already come out in June, July. Like Alabama had 8 players test positive. There were multiple schools that had team players test positive. Those players were isolated. They got over it,
Let's
and
let them
now
play.
they're ready to play ball. So
Yeah, it's
I
been 3
do
months or
believe
whatever. Yeah.
that the teams that decided to play football will finish their season.
I think
They'll
so
play an
too.
entire season. I do not believe that there will be postponements, especially if you're considering once we get through September and October, we all know once the election takes place, COVID gonna start slowly going
Well,
away.
that's right. It's going to go away anyway. It already has. The CDC has
They
already
already start
changed.
talking about a vaccine.
Well, the CDC already changed the number of deaths from like
Yeah,
150,000 to
so
6,000 or something.
we
So,
we know
no,
yeah, we know once all this
they've
is
all
done,
started fixing it.
yeah, we'll start moving past it. So they'll finish their season. And I like what the NFL did in terms of protecting themselves. They added the face mask
Everybody
guard.
has to wear a mask. Is that right?
Right. So and it comes down so that when players are talking shit to each other,
Not spitting
they're
into.
not spitting on each other.
That's funny.
So they guard away from that. So I believe the NFL too will finish their entire season. And like you hit on earlier, they're also allowing fans to the
That's
stadium.
right.
If you going to a Miami game, shit, I want to go.
Yeah, we can go. We'll have to find us another
You know
road
what I'm
trip to make
saying?
this year.
Like,
We'll have to do the show.
Bears. I can look at the schedule.
Hey, we can go to a Bears game too.
I'm hoping my Bears. I want to go to a Bears game. I know it's gonna be a lot of people out there clamoring for those seats if they gonna let people in.
I mean,
But you have teams like L.A. Raiders that are like no fans, Buffalo no fans, and I'm
right.
like, this is crazy.
When you think about it,
It's not
we
unified.
went on our trip to Miami, or to Miami last year.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago. It was in September of last year. The end of the month though. What did it take? It's what, 9 hours. If you blast, it's 9 hours to
8.5,
Miami.
9 hours.
You can really, it's more like a 10-hour drive. How long did it take us to get to Chicago when we went?
Man,
14. That's not that much farther,
No,
really.
it's
You know,
not.
like really not much farther.
One that driver. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
exactly. And you drove the whole way up, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
I helped drive back, but you drove the whole way up
Yeah.
to Chicago. So, yeah, it's not that far and that much farther. I mean, going to a Bears game is like just like going to a Miami game. To
I'm
me.
hoping
If we could do our road trip that way this year instead of down to Miami, we could just go to find something in Nashville or something to do, and then and then
see what the tickets are. Because I definitely would go to the game to show that support. And we need to see if they plan. I want to see if they plan in like Jacksonville. I haven't looked at the schedule this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the Bears playing in Jacksonville. My buddy's over there.
That's an easy little drive down Tampa, Jacksonville, anything in Florida, or even in Tennessee, something like that. You know, that's not too far away. Atlanta. We might have a little game on the schedule, so I'll check out the schedule. We'll see what I do. But
Houston.
Outside of that, I wonder. College basketball starts a little later.
That's right.
And, obviously they can put them in the bubble. We didn't put college football in the bubble. So,
the thing about putting the colleges
you can't
in a bubble is those kids still have to go to class.
They gotta go to class, man.
You can't hold them up for 4 months.
You treat them
all in one place.
The more
they have to go to school.
Yeah, the more you treat them like professional athletes, the more people will pay them their money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're getting real close to that, though, aren't they?
Close to that.
I think they should. I think they should pay them anyway.
You got to pay these guys money.
Yeah. The college is making money off of them. They should be getting paid for it because they're getting an education. I get that.
Yeah. But how much is that worth?
But is that really worth the money that the college is making off of them? And the answer is no. because most of them aren't going to use that education for anything after college. Actually,
I
anyway.
mean, if you think about it, I know a lot of people with teaching degrees or a degree in this or that. They're not using those degrees.
Dude,
They're doing jobs that have nothing to do with their degree. So to say, oh, you're getting to college. Now, granted, the degree does afford you a certain level of salary,
possibly.
probably, and job acceptance.
So I
You know,
have a
so
buddy
I'll
who
give them that much.
high school with, and I haven't talked to him in a number of years, but we used to be really close. And he has a master's degree from Florida State.
Yeah.
Um, and now he's a real estate agent. Like he literally just spent the $800 to become a real estate agent,
And the whole
and not
college is good though, man.
see
You gotta
like
have that experience, man. But I hear
a
you.
bartender in Florida, bartender in Denton can literally make more money than a kid coming out of college with a master's
It's
degree
nuts.
going into like pharmacy tech or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
A
Like
welder,
yeah,
a
well,
carpenter.
yeah, you could go
Like,
go
they
become a
make a lot
welder
more
and like
money
yeah.
than guys with degrees.
And I'm not
Because
knocking college
no,
if
it's a great
college
experience, man. I
is
went to college.
yeah,
It's a great
if
experience, man.
college lends itself to what your future plans
Right.
are. If you want to be a doctor, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
If you want to be a lawyer, you have to
You
go
gotta
to
go
college.
to college.
If you want to be something where you have to go to college, and like I'm dead set, that's what I'm going to do. Then you have to go to college.
Yeah.
But I think you have to go to college
It's not necessary.
unless it's free. You shouldn't go.
No.
If you have to incur debt to get that education, I can teach you the same thing using Google.
Yeah.
Like we got YouTube, bro.
Yeah.
I don't.
Hey.
We don't need.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
I've been made fun of.
Bro, information is
Hey,
free.
you know what I do? I say no, but YouTube do.
Literally,
Hey, like
literally everything you need to know is free. Like on your finger,
information is free, man.
It's free.
We don't know
So
how long
unless
it's
you
gonna be
need that
free.
piece of paper, or you're using college as a vehicle to get into the pros of a sport, you want to be a sportscaster, and so you go and play.
Right.
You go play ball. You're Tim
Media,
Tebow, right?
yeah.
Like you try to go to the league and it doesn't work, so you go work for ESPN.
Which don't
And
bring
then
up
you get-
Tebow, dog.
and then
Tebow
you get drafted by the
it.
Met or picked up Met.
Oh, dog. But don't dog
Hey,
Tebow on the bus like that.
Tebow's New York Met. I love that guy.
Tebow should be an NFL quarterback.
I
know
never
somebody
thought
gonna be like, oh,
you're gonna catch flack for that one.
I know. Hey, look, man, Tebow is an NFL quarterback.
I think Tebow had the potential to be an NFL football player.
No, see,
but I don't think that Tebow had
damn,
to be an NFL quarterback.
you done committed a cardinal sin.
I don't think he could have been a quarterback.
This man broke all type of records in the SEC at the quarterback position, passing. Look, man, my man won a playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're like, he played shitty for 3 quarters, but he won.
But they won. Yeah.
What do we want? And
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you play.
The
It matters what the score is at the end of the game.
The last prominent game Tebow lost was against Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, who went on to win a Super Bowl.
That's true.
Then they put my man behind damn Mark Sanchez
in the New York Jets.
New York Jets. You telling me Tebow ain't better than Mark Sanchez? Shit.
New Jets, where quarterbacks go to die.
I mean, come on, dog. They sent my man Tebow to die.
They did. That's true.
I mean,
You're right.
that is
You're
a
right.
fact. You can't name one other NFL quarterback to bring a team that was 4-8, lead them to the playoffs, win a playoff game against a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
You understand me? Regardless of what he played like, he inspired his teammates to play at a higher level than he did. To play him against a Super Bowl contender and never get another starting chance.
Yeah.
Black, white, anything.
Well, now it's just
name
racial.
me another quarterback that did what Tebow did for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
And not be afforded another opportunity.
Speaking of the Denver Broncos,
to do his thing.
I think Drew Lock is going to be.
He gonna be tight.
I think he's gonna be a good.
I like Drew, but I still love Tebow.
But
Don't
no,
go
I
there
always
with
like
Tebow, Tim.
I always liked Tebow too.
You shed names,
but
man.
I had to
Tebow, Tim Hayden.
but I had to dislike him as a Florida State fan.
Well, of
because
course,
he played
he was whooping y'all ass.
Now, once he left and went into the league, like I don't have any problems with people anymore. Like I dislike you if you play for the team that's my rival.
Right.
Once you don't play for them anymore, I wish you the best. You know. I don't like Tom Brady because he was a Patriot. Now I hope he does great because I don't give a shit. Tampa. You know, I don't care about.
They ain't got to play Miami twice.
Right.
A year.
I don't got to play him twice a year. Now I play him once maybe. So you know, but. And I don't think I think he's got a good squad around him there. So they're probably going to be okay.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they're going to be, they're not going to be New England.
The last
caliber.
super team didn't win the Super Bowl.
So,
Philadelphia Eagles.
That's true, yeah.
Or the Los Angeles Rams. They kind of built them a little super team too.
Yeah. So anyway, like, yeah, I wasn't like trying to be like, I hate Tim Tebow or anything. I just.
People hate Tebow.
I thought Tebow I really thought that Tebow had a better chance of playing a different position.
No, man. No.
But, I mean, I might be wrong.
Come on, dog.
Just think,
man, play quarterback life. Why you going to tell him he got to play a different position?
Because quarterback isn't the same. It's not the same thing throughout the whole. The NFL's a different animal, man.
I hear you.
But played quarterback his whole life too.
But quarterback
and played quarterback his life too.
But his quarterbacks of Tebow's stature.
But Ryan Tannehill was a wide receiver.
Right.
Until he went into the league and
he played quarterback at Texas.
I think one season.
One season.
And granted, he wasn't amazing, Amy, but he actually, if you look at Ryan Tannehill,
he's decent.
If he's a good quarterback, he's going to be really good in Tennessee as long as they can keep Derrick Henry alive. Yeah. Stevie said, relax, Stephen A. Oh. You got called out, homie.
She know I love me some Tebow.
That was really funny.
She know I love me.
I said, I don't dislike Tebow. I honestly was on that train of like Tim Tebow's going to get drafted, but they're going to ask him to play somewhere else. And this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought that he was going to get drafted by a team. They were asking him to play a different position, and he was going to leave. Yeah. That's really what I thought was going to happen. I didn't think he was going to play halfback or anything like that
No, he shouldn't.
In the NFL. I thought that he was going to get drafted. They were going to be like, well, we want you to play tight end or something. Right. And he was going to be like, nope, I'm going to go do something else.
I'm asking Lamar Jackson to play wide receiver.
Yeah.
Or running back. I'm like, he's a quarterback. And they're like, well, Tebow's got a funky throwing motion. I'm like, have you seen Phillip Rivers throw?
Phillip Rivers has the worst throw in the world.
All that they keep bringing up, I'm like, come on,
has
man.
a Super Bowl ring, right?
No. Who?
No?
Phillip Rivers?
No. He didn't get a Super Bowl ring? No.
Phillip Rivers?
Who am I thinking of then?
I don't know who you.
Somebody else that has a Super Bowl ring.
Damn, this sure ain't no Phillip Rivers. Hey, which I like him. I got a picture with the man. He came in Louis, and we took a picture. But no, he ain't got no Super Bowl. Hell no. He was drafted. Eli Manning got a Super Bowl
I know
ring.
That. Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, man. And my thing is just,
yeah.
From Tebow accomplished as a college quarterback, and what blew me, I'll say this and get off the Tebow train. But what blew me, and if y'all agree with me, they was hailing Johnny Manziel.
That guy, dude.
As like he was this stud, and he was like gonna do his thing. And I'm like, you telling me Johnny Manziel is better than Tim Tebow? Come on, dog. Somebody has got an agenda out here. I can't leave it and respect it. I can't take it.
Man.
You can't convince me in 1,000 years that y'all claim the SEC to be the toughest division in college sports to play in. And Tebow used to dog walk Alabama, LSU.
Right.
All these
that
teams
Florida team
dominated. They like, well, he's got Percy Harvin.
I was thinking of Joe Flacco.
Oh, Flacco got a one.
He's got a weird throwing motion too. because
But I'm like,
he's tall and his arm is
yeah,
long and it's like a longer. He has a longer release time
yeah.
than a lot of quarterbacks because he's so big.
Oh yeah. But
That's who I was thinking of.
go back and look at Tebow numbers against Alabama,
Yeah.
LSU.
But the thing about
Come
the
on now.
SEC, the thing about the SEC, is that the SEC pretty much always has. It seemed there are exceptions. There's been a few years recently where Alabama had a amazing team and Georgia had an amazing
Right.
team, right? But for the most part, especially then, um, um, when Florida was the team, Florida was the team. When Alabama was the team, like when Cam was in Auburn, Auburn was the team, right? When Alabama is the best team in the SEC, they're the best team in the SEC.
It's hands down.
When LSU this year was a little different, this past year was a little different, but LSU pretty much dog stomped everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the
LSU
SEC
got the right coach, man. He's a football coach. I'm gonna tell you, he remind me of
Coach
like
O.
some of my little league coaches. Like he's a football coach, like a straight dog. Like
you can't understand a word he says.
No, you can't. But you want to play for him.
He sound like an old boy from Joe
I
Dirt.
don't play at LSU, but I'm like,
I'm trying to go
play for Coach O. Like,
I'm going. Let's do this.
Hey, he a coach, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that. So,
no, I like that guy. I think if they keep him around and they keep, obviously they won the national championship this year, so they're gonna get good recruits.
Yeah.
I think LSU can be a contender for a while because, Saban's contract with Satan has to be running out soon.
With Alabama, yeah.
No, with Satan.
Hey, look,
because Nick Saban definitely sold his soul to Satan.
Saban just
going on the record.
Saban just the Black Lives Matter march in Alabama,
which to a lot of people in this country only goes to prove my point,
man,
that he sold his soul to Satan. He
sold his soul, so he like, hey. So I don't know how much time he got in Alabama anyway.
Might kick him out anyhow. I remember there was one year where Nick Saban was the coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Saban might be going back to the NFL. He out here leading marches and shit.
It was not a good look. It was not a good look for him or the Dolphins.
Hey, it's nothing against. I appreciate him.
Steve Spurrier gave it a shot. Didn't work for him either.
Yeah, man. It's Saban might be on his way out after I see the most shit.
I don't know. I don't think Nick Saban can do anything wrong.
Nah, man. I love Nick Saban.
There's no way.
I love Nick Saban. He's a leader of men.
Until he starts just losing.
Yeah, man. He's a leader amongst leaders.
They're going to give that man whatever.
Yeah, man. Saban a leader of man. And I appreciate him. I appreciate him. Screw that. Not screw it, but outside of that much. But like, if you've ever listened to Nick Saban talk about his players.
Yeah.
Before this, and when his players get in trouble, and he's like, "What do you want me to do? Kick him off the team and send him back to where he's gonna get into more
he's just
trouble?
Gonna get in more trouble, yeah.
Nah, I'm here.
We're trying to help.
I'm here to
people.
help him and coach him and prepare him for man in society.
That's right.
So he's not one of those people that you look at as a threat.
That's right.
Like I have the utmost respect. For a man like Nick Saban, because he understands that, hey man, not only are these guys helping me get my salary, but these guys are trying to be better people.
That's right.
Than where they come from.
They're trying to use
my job to facilitate
that
as a way, and it's my job to facilitate that. Not to say, to hell with him. He doesn't fit our program. He's out here. No, the program is here to build these men.
Right.
Not to throw them away when they make them. This is a land of second chance, third chance. So, I mean, I'll say that piece in R.I.P. John Thompson.
Yeah.
Who gave Allen Iverson his second chance.
Iverson was
nobody was recruiting this man after he got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to these coaches that say, you have a hell of a talent. And
let's use that for good.
Your talent is not just talent given to you so that you can have it, but your talent is given to you so that you can be a better leader. And I need to the cultivatorship,
Yeah.
because your talent is what's gonna draw people to you, but it's your leadership that will get people to follow you in
Woo.
your realm.
That's a tweet right
You
there.
know what
Y'all
I'm
tweet
saying?
that.
So
Hashtag
it's
grayscale.
we'll take talent, but we need to cultivate that, because through you, we can build better people in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Bible always the worst of the worst and builds them up. Look at it. I ain't here to preach to you, but
But
the
you're right.
Bible takes those that have done things sinful.
Very.
Paul.
Some of the people in
So
the
anyway,
Bible did some things that
from Saul to Paul.
some of the people in the Bible did some things that modern day Christians would not forgive them for.
Whoa. You know
I'm not
going
to say anything, but
we're not going to get on that. That's for another episode, you know, from Saul to Paul.
we won't
baby.
do that next week. We'll have a we'll have the fitness related episode next week.
We ain't gonna drown y'all out with
And then
all
I
this
think,
talk,
we
man.
do want to get in politics soon, but not
The votes come up.
not black and white
it.
politics, but like legitimately get into some politics.
And we
some
need, if you
political
out
stuff.
there and you listening,
I want to talk about voting.
If you're
rock the vote.
start, you know, somebody that's all about voting, we want to have a political pundit on this show. So if you've been in that lifestyle,
Yeah,
if you've been involved in the community, involved in the school votes, the community votes, hit us up. Let's get you on the show, because I will say, for the first time as a 35-year-old man, 2 days ago, I registered to vote.
You never voted?
I've never.
Neither have I.
I talk so much shit.
I've never voted.
I've never voted.
I'm
I didn't
voting
vote
this year.
for Obama.
I'm voting this
I
year.
didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for nobody.
I'm voting this
But
year.
this year,
Never voted.
I registered to vote, because I'm like, you know what? Even if I feel like it's not important to me, it's important to these people out here. And in order to play the game, you got to get in the game.
Here's my I have two things that I talk about when it comes to voting, and we'll expand on them in a later episode. But one of them is, people always say, well, if you don't vote, then you shouldn't complain.
My mama always get me.
And you know what I tell those people? No, if I didn't vote, so I do get to complain.
Yeah.
Because you got me into this situation.
Right?
This is your fault. I didn't choose this. You did.
You did.
So I do get to complain about it.
You still can complain.
Yeah. So that's the one thing. And then I'm not going to do the other one right now, because that's going to be something that has to come up on the show. But yeah, I've never voted. And I'm almost 40. I'm 38. So we've probably been eligible to vote in basically the same number of elections, presidential elections. Well, that's true. I don't know when you got your rights back.
Yeah, so
but
I did register though.
But either way, we've been eligible to vote in roughly the same number of elections. It's interesting that neither one of us ever has.
That's crazy.
I just don't. Here's what I'll say. I just don't think that who it is. They're like, local elections are different.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the president has that much bearing on my life.
Nope.
It just really doesn't.
Nope.
But at the same time, I'm a white man in America. I understand that I won the lottery. I get that.
Yeah.
But people say, oh, well, the economy. But my personal economy has never been better.
No. And
my economy has never been better than it is right now.
Right. And I don't think
yours has either.
Right. No, because actually when we filled out taxes this year, we got a good break.
Right.
So, and I don't think I agree with what you just said. It's not president, because I think if any presidency has shown that it's what your local government does, it's this
one. Yeah.
This government under the Trump administration has said, hey, man, it ain't our job to make sure you got proper PPE for your citizens. It's your government's job. It's the local governor and your constituents' job to make sure they've got enough face masks for a pandemic. And you know what? For everybody that's saying we need less government involved, less federal government involvement, Trump is absolutely right. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it, actually.
If it's true,
It's
don't hate to
true.
say it. Yeah.
Trump is absolutely right.
We
It
do
is
need less
these
federal
local
government. Yeah.
officials
Yep.
that are trying to pass the buck
Yeah.
to the federal government
Somebody
when
always
it's their job.
People always want somebody else to do it.
Yeah,
for
they
them.
want to blame somebody else.
They want somebody else to do it for them. There's this thing floating around on Facebook about, oh well, you know, Jesus fed the 5,000 people. Like Jesus was socialist based. What's the difference between Jesus
Right.
giving
I
feeding?
shared that
You
one.
shared it,
Yeah.
and our boy Jalen, he shared it too. And our response is always Jesus fed people.
Right.
And actually, Jesus didn't feed those people. The disciples
Right.
fed those people. Jesus made sure there was enough
To feed those
to
people.
feed the people. The disciples did the actual action of feeding them.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making is that Jesus didn't run over to the government and be like, hey, man, these people need help.
No.
He did it
He
himself.
did it. That was an individual act. That
the
was
disciples did
free
it
market.
themselves.
Yeah, free market.
That's between
right.
Christianity and socialism in that
And
regard.
we have people
As
out
a
there
Christian,
that still do
I'm
that.
supposed to go out there and do it myself. I'm not supposed to say, well, I paid my money to the government, now they should do it.
My wife works
I'm
for a
supposed to
company
do
that
it.
goes out and does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's for the individuals to do.
We'll get into that in the political episode or something too.
I thought we had a great show.
Me too.
Hopefully you guys thought the same.
Leave us some comments.
Leave us some comments. Again, continue to go on to the Grayscale Podcast page and chime in what you think about sports. If there's a topic that you want us to talk about,
I'm getting that for sure.
Go ahead and send us a message if you don't feel comfortable leaving it on our page. And we'll discuss it and bring it up. And hopefully you'll chime in to it. So
yeah, I do want to say,
go ahead.
I want to apologize to the people that actually do appreciate and watch the show. I've been slacking on my end because I've been so busy with my business and stuff that I haven't been doing. I didn't do the 10 Minutes with Tim show this week, and only a couple of days this week did I put out video clips of the show. And so if you like those segments and you like those video clips, I apologize for not doing that this week. I promise to do better.
No doubt. And then his apology, he's saying Ray needs to do more. No,
yeah, and also Ray. No, Ray doesn't need to do more.
No,
I just need to. It doesn't take that long.
You got a lot going on, man.
Yeah,
you moved into a new building. The people have to understand that, man. You conducting business.
My life has to come first. So
absolutely, you conducting
for
business.
Everyone else, your lives come second. So
you're secondary.
You guys are all second.
Your lives don't matter.
Your lives.
No, we're joking. We're joking.
Everyone's life matters.
All
lives matter.
All lives matter.
Anyway, on that note,
yeah, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. I am Ray.
And I'm Tim.
The Grayscale is going.